So I invite you to do just that, to create a space in your body, upright if possible, where you feel you can be comfortable and at ease, but a little bit of alertness. So we're staying aware of our body. And as you choose that comfortable position, seated in a chair, I'm seated on a pillow, finding just a moment to arrive, giving yourself a chance to exhale fully, to feel the parts of your body that are connected to support, whether that's to a chair or to the ground beneath you, and inviting you to soften your gaze or perhaps close your eyes and start to take notice of the rhythm of your breath. Just checking in with the pace of your natural inhale and exhale rhythm right now. Maybe even drawing a little attention to where you feel your breath coming into your body and where you feel the breath leaving your body. And maybe it's through the nose, the mouth, the throat. Maybe you're noticing a little movement across your ribs, your chest, your belly. And keeping your attention as we begin to settle in to that flow of breath, noticing your inhale, bringing attention to your exhale. With every rhythm, with every round of breath, taking note of the inhale, taking note of the exhale, continuing to explore and almost ride this wave of breath. And as you do so, giving yourself just a little scan of things that maybe could be surrendered out as you exhale. If it's parts of your day so far, parts of your week, if it's thoughts that you felt stirring in your mind as you settled in today, seeing if you can give that visualization of exhaling out things that are worth releasing in this moment. Taking a few more quiet, intentional, and focused breaths. Noticing again the inhales, giving yourself space to release as you exhale. And if you were here for our practice last time, we really elevated the power of noticing when thoughts come into our mind. So, as we give ourselves this invitation to be attentive to breath, to let our mind hone in on the rhythm of inhales and exhales, our mind will begin to drift. It will wander. And recognizing that the power of that noticing, simply drawing awareness to when our mind begins to drift, that brings us back to the present moment. And the power of that rhythm of noticing and coming back can be used not only in our practice here, but when we're elsewhere. Today, I'd offer you just a little extra layer. So as you continue to attempt to be attentive to inhales and exhales, when you notice thoughts start to drift in, I'd invite you to go one layer deeper and notice if there is a response in your body. So, quite often, when a thought comes in, when our mind begins to drift, we may actually have a response in our physical body. Do you notice something get tense? Do you notice something grip in your body, maybe figuratively or literally? Taking the time to layer deeply that noticing of how thoughts connect into our body. And when you notice your thoughts begin to drift, when you perhaps take note of a response in your body, subtle or maybe a bit bigger, we once again come back to attention to inhales and exhales. And that practice, that cycle, again, is something we notice and take time to explore here during our practice. And we extend that beyond this time, knowing that our thoughts will drift, our thoughts will wander, but starting to connect a bit more deeply into what our body does in response to those thoughts. And offering just one more consideration on this day as you continue to notice, to check back in, to find your breath, that maybe sometimes those thoughts now or at other times of our day, they might start to drift into worry or feeling anxious. Sometimes those thoughts begin with a mental image of something from the past or something that may be looming ahead. And how easy it is for our mind to start to perseverate over that mental image. But then noticing once again what's happening in our body if and when that response starts to show. Can we layer more deeply to start to understand our physical response to worry, to be able to name it as such without judgment, and to regain our attention back to inhales and exhales? And I know it's not as simple as that. It's not this magic piece, this solution of, oh, I feel that worry, I feel that imagery, I can notice my body, and I come back to breath. But that noticing can start to diminish the response. The noticing, again, can prevent the spiral of going too deeply. Taking the time to just honor, to recognize, to really elevate mind and body connection. And again, the power of doing just that when we think about our inhales and our exhales. Taking a few more moments, feeling breath, noticing thoughts, maybe even using that return to breath to soften areas of the body that you may feel respond to your thinking. And leaving you with just another thought or image about this practice, this process of regaining control over mind, thinking about body response. It is true that we cannot control the flight of birds we may see around us. If you're outside, if you're taking a walk, birds are going to fly however they're going to fly, as our thoughts will do. However, we do have a say as to whether or not those birds nest with us. And same with our thoughts. Our thoughts will flutter and move. But if we can continue to practice naming, honoring without judgment those moments, we prevent those thoughts from nesting in more deeply. We prevent them from rooting in and taking hold by acknowledging, by responding, and by breathing. I invite you to take a few deeper inhales, deeper exhales, maybe making a little bit of sound as you breathe in, perhaps even giving yourself permission to sigh and breathe out. Coming back into breath, back into body. As you feel ready, perhaps letting your eyes start to open or lift your gaze. Giving yourself a moment, if it feels available, to place one hand over your heart, the other hand right over the top. Just sealing in an appreciation for you for making this time, for honoring your mind, for the gratitude of breath. Thank you for making this time and space. I wish you much peace in your day. Namaste.